بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن سيدنا ومولانا محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد. Hadith number 12. Hadith is narrated by Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala anhu. He said, قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم, the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم said, من حسن إسلام المرء تركه ما يعنيه. Hadith is narrated in Tirmizi, and the hadith is a Hasan hadith. Hasan hadith is that hadith which is a good hadith, reliable hadith, but a bit less authentic than the Sahih hadith. That's called Hasan hadith. That's what it means. Because hadith has categories: Sahih, Hasan, and then Da'if. And then you have Mawdu hadith. Mawdu means it's not a hadith, fabricated. So Hasan hadith and Sahih hadith can be accepted. They are authentic hadith. This hadith is a Hasan hadith. Obviously, inshallah, you'll learn about the usul hadith, what makes a hadith sahih and what makes a hadith da'if and other things in probably in year 4 or year 5. That's a bit like high level of education you have to get. Okay, so what's the hadith? Hadith is min husni islamil mar'i tarkuhu ma la ya'nihi. So Prophet said that a part of the excellence of a man's Islam means it's part of your Islam, a part of your deen. What is it? Is his leaving alone what does not concern him. What does it mean? What does leaving alone things that does not concern you? What does it mean? So this is why we need to you need to be in Ustaz Shabir's class in order to understand this. It's okay. Let's explain. Otherwise, what will happen? A lot of people they take wrong meaning of this hadith. What it means that to leave alone those things that doesn't concern you, it means unnecessary things. Unnecessary things. Something which does not give you benefit in your deen and in your dunya. Like for example, talking too much, gossiping. If we actually think deeply, and then we'll see the certain things which actually we don't need to do. We have nothing to do with it, or it's just unnecessary. It's just wasting time, and it'll get you in trouble as well. For example, gossiping, talking about other people's business. Someone did something, and you are enjoying your time with your friends and families and neighbors by talking about that incident. He did this, she did this, he's like this, she's like this is what happened in his house. You know, when people get together, 99% time they talk about other people. Just take my word, and for this week, just check when people talk, just check what they're talking about. Even like when you go to your relative's house, guest's house, or when the guest comes to your house, when your family is meeting your relatives, even in mosque, when two people are talking, you know what they do? Most of the time, 99% time, they talk about other people. And then most of the time they don't talk about good stuff, they talk about people's bad stuff. This is called gossip, isn't it? Backbiting, riba. This is one of the worst sin in Islam. Because As a hadith Prophet said, he was walking past the graveyard, and then there were two graves, and Prophet he was walking past those graves, and then what did he do? He put two branches on those two graves. And Sahaba obviously, the surprise, and they asked Prophet like, why did you put the branches of Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? The Prophet said that the two people in those two graves are getting punished. And then he said, they are not getting punished because of a major thing. It's not because they done some huge sin. One of them getting punished because he never used to be clean after using the toilet. When after urinating, he never used to be clean properly. So when you go to the bathroom, especially you youngsters, mashallah, when you go to bathroom in school, even in mosque, and then you don't care, you stand up and you do your business, and you don't care if the impurity is falling on your clothes or not. You understand? And then also you make it dirty for other people as well. So other people sometimes they don't see that dirt and they sit and they get dirty as well, and their salah is not valid because they have impurity on their clothes because of you. So what happens if you don't be careful? So then there is punishment for you in the grave. So that person was getting punished because he used to go to the bathroom to relieve himself, but he never used to be clean properly. That's why he was being punished. And the other person, he was being punished because he used to backbite. He used to do gossiping. Do you understand? So this is why the Prophet said that either you talk good, you say good things. Good things means say something good which will bring benefit in your deen and in your dunya as well. Say something good, you get reward for it. Or if you have nothing good to say, then what do? You remain silent. So why? Because every word we say in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Suratul Qaf, Allah said that every word we say, the angels, they write it down. They write it down. In Prophet said in a hadith, he was giving advice to Mu'adh radiallahu ta'ala, a great Sahabi. And he said to him that the most people, they will go to Jahannam because of their tongue. Because of their tongue. You know why? Because it's very easy to commit big sins with the tongue. And it's very easy as well. It's very easy. Why? Because you don't need to make any effort. We only need to do is sit down and talk. And because of this, the most people will go to Jahannam because of the excessive talking. So it's very important that we avoid gossiping, avoid talking about things which will not bring any benefit. Also, like joking, too much joking is not good. Like, I see the youngsters, mashallah, like, even in the class, when you sit in front of your ustad, ustad is teaching and you're whispering, talking, and trying to make fun, and trying to make people laugh by saying something silly. So it just gets you in trouble, isn't it? And when ustad sees you are messing around and distracting the class, whispering, and you're talking too much, then he gives you detention. He makes you stand up, isn't it? You see, it's just a demonstration that what will happen to you on the day of judgment. Because of talking, Allah might put you in trouble as well. One of the hadiths, it says that when a person wakes up from sleep, all the body part of the person requests his tongue that, please, keep yourself controlled, because our goodness is depending on you. Do you understand? Because just as I said, with your hand, with other part of the body, okay, people commit sin, but it's hard. We have to make a lot of effort to do it. But with the tongue, it's very easy to commit sins. Do you understand? So this is why it's very important. Even like for entertainment and talking too much is not good. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He said in Suratul Mu'minun, قَدْ أَفْلَحَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ. Allah said the believers became successful. And then he's mentioning the sign of a believer. الَّذِينَ هُمْ فِي صَلَاتِهِمْ خَاشِعُونَ. So the believers are those who are humble in the salah. And the next thing Allah said, وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ عَنِ اللَّغْوِ مُعْرِضُونَ. And they stay away from vain talking, useless talking, useless things. Do you understand? And also matters outside your responsibility. Matters outside your responsibility. What does it mean? If it's not responsibility, if it's not your responsibility, then don't get involved with things. Do you understand? For example, other people's private lives. Other people's private lives. You know, some people, they always curious about other people's private life. Even when they meet someone for the first time, what do? They start digging, isn't it? Or what's your name? There's limit. If you meet somebody, then what do? You talk to them nicely, saying salam, how are you, where do you live? Okay, these things. But don't try to dig into too much in the first meeting. Like, you know, asking about everything. Like, you know, what do you do and how much, you know, some people even, you know, they don't care asking someone about their wages. How much do you get paid? You understand? Asking about their private lives. If they are married or not, if they are divorced or not. You don't ask this kind of question in the first meeting. You have to be very close to the person. If the person willingly is opening up, then it's different. But in the first meeting, subhanAllah, especially our Asian people, they do this kind of thing. Do you understand? So this is called, like, you know, digging into people's private life, spying on people. What are they doing? Allah says in the Quran, وَلَا تَجَسَّسُوا. Do not spy. Do not spy on each other. Why? Because when you're spying, it is haram, because you're trying to find other people's fault. As a Muslim, we should cover people's fault, not finding it. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He covers the sins of people. This is on the sifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Isn't it? Like, you ask yourself how many times you do wrong things and you don't want people to find out, isn't it? Why? Because it's a shame. So why do you find it so, like, you know, pleasurable to find out other people's fault and open up to other people and telling your friends, your neighbors? In the Hadith, Prophet said, if a Muslim, he covers the sins of his brother, then on the day of judgment, Allah will cover your sin. Allah will cover you. And if you expose his sins, then Allah will expose your sin. To make you feel how you feel. Do you understand? So it's about responsibility. You know, if you have iman, this is a sign. You can test your iman like this. If you find yourself, you know, getting pleasure by exposing other people's sins, then there's weakness in your iman. If you have true iman, then you will be scared of talking about other people's business and their sins, and opening up about other people's business and sins. You understand? So we shouldn't be spying on other people, and we shouldn't be, you know, getting involved with other people's business. You understand? So other thing is like useless debates. You know, a lot of the time people waste their time in debating. Useless debating, not good debating. There's some debates that they're good. If you do debates, then it's good because it increases the iman, your knowledge as well. Your knowledge is increased by getting involved in some kind of debates, but not the debate we do. Arguing with someone, like you're trying to talk to someone and he's trying to make his point, and you are not, no, it's not like this. You just, you know, even though you know you're right, but you are just going over the limit. If someone is not listening to you, you're explaining to him, you know he's wrong, and you're trying to explain to the person, but he's not listening. He's not willing to listen. Then you don't argue too much. You don't argue too much. Do you understand? Because you're going to waste your time. You're going to waste your time. People who is there to argue with you will never listen to you. Will never listen to you. So don't debate about things which is not necessary. Like sometimes you're debating who is better, Ronaldo or Messi. Do you understand? And then you love Messi, and now you're shouting, screaming, "Oh, Messi is this, Messi is this," and the other person is, "No, Ronaldo is this. Ronaldo is the best one." Do you understand? And then who is better, Chelsea or Manchester United, or Liverpool? Do you understand? And arguing, shouting. Sometimes the friends they fight with each other. You know that. Sometimes it's not jokes. Be serious. Sometimes in school there's gang, there's Ronaldo gang and Messi gang. There's Liverpool gang and there's who else? Who is team United? Yeah. Then United gang, Chelsea gang. Isn't it? Is it true or not? And then they argue. They try to prove that their team is best, their player is best, and then sometimes they fight. Sometimes they fight. These are useless debates. Do you understand? You're gonna just waste your time on this. You're Muslims. We are Muslims. We have more important issues, more important topics to debate about. You understand? Because on the day of judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will ask 4 questions to a person. How many questions? 4 questions. And Prophet said, until the person answers those 4 questions, you will not be able to move even one step. Even one step. What are the 4 questions? The first question will be that how did you spend your time? How did you spend your life? Life means time, isn't it? What did you do? Now, if you wasted your time arguing about Messi and Ronaldo, and arguing about Chelsea and Manchester United, you understand, and doing things that is not necessary, then what are you going to say to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Okay? Then Allah will ask you about your youth. Your youth. Do you understand? How did you spend your young age, like youth? When you were youth, how did you spend your time? What did you do? Why is it so important that Allah is asking about your youth? It's because this is when you have energy. This is the time you're supposed to worship Allah, because you have energy. You are healthy. You're strong. You understand? Because when you become old, it's hard for you to worship Allah. It's hard for you to do more things. When you're young, your blood is fresh, your bones are strong, the muscle is big. You understand? Like Hamza. Then you can worship Allah more. You can learn more. This is why Allah will ask you about this your youth. How did you spend your youth? Do you understand? The third question Allah will ask, the money that how did you earn the money, and where did you spend it? Isn't it? Because the whole world is after one thing, and that is money. And because of this money, they disobey Allah. Most people disobey Allah because of money. Because people are greedy for money. So what happens? To become rich, to have more money, they disobey Allah. They do haram things. They do haram things. And some people, they earn money in a halal way, but they don't know how to spend it. Either they will keep in the bank, and then the bank account will be growing, where people are dying for food and water and shelter, and you are like saving up, subhanallah. Or buying stuff you don't need. You have 1 car, but you're buying 2 cars. You understand? You have 1 house to live, but now you're buying mansion, 10 mansions. You understand? You got like about 10 coats from Zara and Next, and what else? Where do you go? River Island and JD Sports. You understand? Hanging in your wardrobe. where people, some country, some children don't have any clothes to wear, and they are shivering out of winter, out of cold and snow, and some countries, the children, they don't have any winter clothes. Some children, they die because of lack of winter clothes. And you're spending money and wasting money. Allah will ask you about this on the Day of Judgment. And the last question will be about the knowledge. Allah will ask you, the knowledge I gave you, how much did you act upon the knowledge? How much did you act upon the knowledge? Allah will ask you about the knowledge. That's the question. So knowledge is not all about learning hadith, and you learn more hadith, more Quran, more verses, more rules of fiqh, usul of hadith. You understand? You have so much information, but you don't act upon it. You don't practice. Then that knowledge will go against you. Allah says in the Quran, "Ta'muruna an-nasa bil birri wa tansawna anfusakum wa antum tatluna al-kitab, fala ta'qilun." Allah is saying, do you command people for good and you forget yourself? People, they learn knowledge and they give you long, long lectures. Like, I'm talking about myself. And then when it's time to practice, they don't do it. Allah save us. Allah save us. When you learn the knowledge, you have to practice on it. You understand? Otherwise, Allah is saying, Allah is giving example of people who has knowledge, who learn knowledge, like thousands of hadiths. They know the whole Quran without looking. They know the rules of fiqh, but they don't practice. Allah is saying they're like the donkey who is carrying the books on his back. Donkey, if he's carrying like a lot of books of hadith and Quran and fiqh on his back, are you gonna say he's a knowledgeable person? Or for example of your iPad, or your computer. It has lot of information in it, isn't it? If you just have, with one click, you'll have all the information of the world, isn't it? Are you gonna call your computer a knowledgeable device? Are you gonna call your ChatGPT a knowledgeable app? Tell me, yes or no? No, you will not. He has the information, but you will not call him a knowledgeable device. You're not gonna call him an alim. Are you gonna call your computer an alim? Even though he has all the information. Because why? Because being alim doesn't mean he has a lot of information. It requires practice as well. When you become an alim, you learn knowledge and you practice, then you become an alim. You understand? These are the 4 things Allah asks us to do. This is why it's very important that we make sure we don't waste our time doing things that is not necessary. Because this is from the excellency. What's the word? Excellence, isn't it? Excellence. Excellence. Is this from the excellence of your deen? By avoiding things that is not necessary for your deen and dunya. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq. What has been said, especially, first of all, may Allah give me tawfiq to act upon, and also give you tawfiq, and inshallah, may Allah give tawfiq to every single Muslim. Subhanallah bihamdihi, subhanaka Allahumma bihamdika, wa nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, wa nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.